Hello, today I'm sharing 7 of my top favorite Flower Beauty must-haves. I have a basket full of Flower Beauty makeup. I'll be applying a lot of these products to my face today. I thought this might be helpful for those of you who haven't tried Flower Beauty before, but you've been curious, because a lot of their products are available online only. So this video is kind of a hybrid between a best of brand and a full face of makeup, because all the products that I'll be applying I really enjoy. Flower Beauty is one of my favorite affordable drugstore brands. I think you get great quality for the price. And this way you'll get to see what these products look like when they're applied. You'll get to see the shades, but I'll be focusing on the 7 that I think no matter how old you are or what skin type you have, that would be great to maybe start with or grab if you haven't yet. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new, and let's go ahead and get into these Flower Beauty products that I love overall and the 7 that I think are must-haves. Aside from my skincare that's been on my face for a little while now, the only other product on my face, and that was on my face during the intro, is this. This is the Skinny Micro Brow Pencil. Quite often I apply my brows before foundation. I just find it looks really natural because our brows are on our face before we put on any makeup. Sometimes I do need to touch them up after foundation, but I really like the look it gives. So this has a skinny round tip that applies really easily. It's not waxy, so you get pigment when you apply it. Some brow pencils I find you have to press really hard. You don't with this one. Now I don't think the shade that I have, which is taupe, is perfect for my brow shade, but I wanted you to see how it applied and just what it looks like overall. I definitely think I personally should go darker. Now I don't particularly care for this little toothbrush tip that they have on here. I wish they had used a spoolie. That's just personal preference though. Some people may really like that. All of the products that I'm applying in this video I really love. This isn't one of my top 7 because I prefer a dash shaped micro brow pencil, but if you like the traditional round tip skinny micro brow pencil, I think this is a great option. The Flower Beauty Light Illusion Foundation is one of the products that I would recommend to anyone. I think no matter how old you are, no matter what skin type you have, you could love this foundation. Now, of course, I can't speak for everyone. What I like, you may not, and vice versa. But generally speaking, this is such a beautiful foundation on so many different skin types. It has, a moderately thick texture and it blends out so easily. I'm going to show you on one half of my face the coverage that you get from it. I've compared this several times to Charlotte Tilbury Magic Foundation because it gives me that same effect. I actually put it in a dupes video against the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Foundation. I just realized I don't have a clip in here. Sorry guys, I know that drives some people crazy, but you get really nice coverage. It feels lightweight and breathable. It lasts all day. I still have this much on my hand left from those 2 small pumps. This is the coverage that I have from one side to another. I mean, I think that's really good, and you can layer it as well wherever you need it, and it just doesn't look heavy. It stays looking natural, and it gives you this soft kind of demi-matte finish after you set it. Now, if you have combination oily skin like I do, and you find that you get too dewy during the day with it, a mattifying primer is really all you need, and you still get just a really pretty finish that again lasts a long time during the day. I'm going to finish applying this and then come right back. I don't bring concealer under my eyes, so ignore the dark circles. I'll be addressing that here in a second. Now, for those of you who don't like dewy foundations, stay with me because we still have more makeup to put on. We still are going to set this, and the finish changes after we set it. It's not this dewy, but this is what we have. I feel like I got medium coverage. That's all I wanted to build it to, but you can build it more if you want to. It's just really pretty and natural looking. If you have dry skin or if you just really love a dewy look, you may want to leave it like this and not set it. A couple of my top must-have products are combinations. I'm giving you a couple products in one. So I guess technically it's more than 7 products, but I do that sometimes. This is one of those. I wanted to share both under eye products that I think are fantastic so that if you want to try both, you can, or if you maybe don't need all that coverage, you can try one or the other. The Chill Out Color Corrector as well as the Light Illusion Concealer I think are both fantastic. Now I've compared their corrector to Charlotte Tilbury's corrector. I think this is fantastic. The shade that I have is Light Peach. As with most drugstore correctors, I feel like it could be a little bit creamier. So what I do is put just a dab of eye cream on the back of my hand, just a tiny bit. This one is from Beauty Pie, and I scoop scoop out on the back of my fingernail just a little bit of corrector, and I kind of mix the two so that it becomes this just really creamy mixture. This works for me because I have dry textured under eyes. If you don't, you might not need to do that. This is what I would recommend if you do have dry textured under eyes. This just taps out and blends out so nicely. It corrects really great. I mean, you can see the level of correction I have under this eye versus this eye with my purple circle. I am someone who wears a corrector pretty regularly underneath concealer. I don't like to layer on concealer. This is just a great option. The second part of this under eye equation is the Light Illusion Concealer. I think it's fantastic and very flattering to the under eye area. I have two shades. I have Vanilla and Light. I'm pretty sure Light is the one that I prefer for my under eye area. It's been a while since I've used this, but I really do love it. This concealer blends out really quickly and easily, and you can see it provides a nice amount of coverage almost right away when you start blending it out. It's flattering on my dry textured under eyes, and it lasts throughout the day. I had a huge sneezing fit, so I had to go off camera, but I did finish my under eye concealer and wiped off some corrector smudge that was on my forehead that I just realized was there. I don't know when that happened. I also added the concealer to my eyelids as eyeshadow primer. I forgot to turn the camera on for that, but just know I do have a tiny bit on my lids. I do want to note that as I proceed before I set my face, my under eyes will crease right here directly under my eye. That happens with every concealer. It's not just Flower Beauty. I also don't think this foundation is reflecting very well in the monitor on camera. That's why so many of us wear mattifying foundations when we're on camera, because these are just not flattering. It looks better in person than it does on camera, and it will look better once I set it down with powder. Just had to make that little disclaimer. But for the under eye area, I don't think you could go wrong with either of these under eye products. I think they're both great. Flower Beauty is phenomenal when it comes to cheek products. I'm also giving you multiple cheek products here because I love all of these. I couldn't pick and choose. And I think it comes down to what type of formula you prefer. Some of you might want to layer a cream and a powder. Some of you only like creams, only like powders. Some want to multitask with a lip and cheek product. So I have 3 products here. I will swatch all of these, but that is why I haven't set my face yet, because I'm going to apply blush balm in the shade Cheeky to this side of my face, and I'm going to apply the Gel Crush Lip and Cheek in the shade Strawberry Crush to this side of my face. I will be topping this with a powder blush, so it may not matter in the end, but I figured you could at least maybe compare the texture and the application of the two this way. This is Cheeky on the back of my hand. It's actually darker. I feel like I used to have a light pink one. I don't know where it went. So I swirl a brush around in this on the back of my hand until I feel like it's, I don't know, somewhat dry and absorbed in the brush, but not too dry to where it won't apply. And I'm just going to stipple that on my face. It may have been a little bit too dry. No, I think I'm getting some pigment. So you can see how pretty that is. It doesn't take off any foundation either. It just applies beautifully. I mean, you can apply these with your fingers or with a sponge too. I just really love using this BK Beauty 106 brush for cream blushes. I just think it works really well. So there's that subtle flush of pink. I finally have some color on my face, and let's move to the Gel Crush. I've cleaned my brush off, and you can kind of do this in 2 ways. You can take your brush just right across the top, and I get some nice pigment doing that. It's still not patchy. You can also just kind of scribble it on the back of your hand and then dip your brush in too. Either way is fine. You just kind of have to find what works for you. Here is the blush balm in Cheeky, just to show you the finish. It gives a glow, but it pretty much dries down fully, so there's no stickiness, no tackiness. Keep in mind that my application might not be perfect. I just wanted you to see kind of how I apply them, what these particular shades look like. I'm aware I have blush overload on. I know somebody's gonna come in the comments and say, you have on too much blush. We are covering this with some other things here in a second, and if we don't, it's fine. I just really wanted to show you the shades and the finishes so that it would be pretty evident on camera. This is the Gel Crush in Strawberry Crush. I see a little bit more of a glow happening. There is a little bit of a tackiness to these, but it's nothing that you really feel that's, you know, too tacky. I find both last nicely throughout the day. It just depends on the kind of look that you like. So here are the swatches. On the left, you have Gel Crush and Strawberry Crush, and then you have Flower Bombs in Cheeky, Spiced, and Cinnamon. I'm taking my sponge over this a little bit to maybe blot some of it so it's not so strong and you can see whatever blush I apply over it here in a minute. I've raved so many times about Flower Beauty Light Illusion Setting Powder here on my channel. It's one of my favorite drugstore setting powders. I have the shade Porcelain. For me, because this is a pretty sheer setting powder, this shade appears translucent. When I set my makeup, it doesn't alter anything under it, and that's what I like in a setting powder. I have said this was a dupe for Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Powder. I stand by that. It's beautiful on my dry textured under eyes. It's beautiful on my oily combination skin on my face to set with. It's great to carry for touch-ups. It's just a great drugstore setting powder option. I think looks stunningly beautiful. It minimizes pores and just sets my makeup all day long. I'm using the same slightly damp sponge I've been using throughout the video to apply this powder. I've never had any issues with it messing up the powder. You can always leave the powder open if you do. Once it's applied, I dust away any excess with a brush. And now do you see what I mean about the change in finish? Now, as this settles in, it won't be quite so matte, but even just looking in the monitor, I feel like it's a soft matte. It's very flattering. Things feel very lightweight. My pores look so pretty, and that's one of the reasons why I really love this powder so much, is because it does all of those airbrushing, pore minimizing, makeup setting things that a high-end powder should do at a much better price. Another one of my must-have top favorite Flower Beauty products is the Heat Wave bronzer. Now, I thought this was being discontinued a while back, but it's not. It's still available on Ulta's website. I think Flower Beauty's, it's still there too. I'll have links down below where you can get all of these products. This looks like it's going to be this muddy contour shade. It's really not. It comes out to this kind of warm neutral. I never have to tap my brush off before I touch my brush to my face. It applies so easily and effortlessly. It doesn't lay down too much product at once, so it's very buildable. You can go more subtle, you can build it up depending on what you're wanting that day, that time of year. I love the shade that I have, Sunrise. I think it's perfect for my light, medium, warm, neutral skin tone. I don't think it looks like I went overboard. There is kind of a luminescent quality to these. I almost hesitate to say that because that scares people. There's no glitter, there's no shimmer. It's just a really flattering kind of I would say candlelit glow, but that's more of a highlighter thing. But it does give kind of a candlelight, blurred, airbrushed effect while it's bronzing your face. These are really flattering, easy, great price. I went ahead and used the bronzer in my transition in my crease just to give a little something above my lids, because even though this isn't one of my 7 core products, I am going to put a couple of shades from the Desert Lights palette on my eyelids. I love this formula. I think it's as good as any high-end shimmer metallic formula. These are just stunning. So I'm going to take this shade right here and just swipe it on my lid. There are high-end glitter and shimmer eyeshadows that do not glide on that opaque and that smoothly, especially without giving just chunks of glitter underneath your eye. I have been so impressed with the quality of this. The reason why it's not one of my 7 is because I'm not sure if it's being discontinued. Desert Lights has been out of stock everywhere, so I've only been able to find Jungle Lights, which is a different color story. I will link that as well because it's got the same quality, just different shades. I'm going to very quickly line with this brown shade and put on some mascara, and then come back here, I think, with another must-have. This is actually a very simple eye look, but I love the way it turned out. Very easy to do. I'm hoping they don't discontinue the Desert Lights palette or the Jungle Lights palette. I'm hoping it's just a stock issue. I applied the Warrior Princess mascara. I think this was a new launch in 2021. I like the volume and length that it gives my wimpy lashes. I think they look pretty good, and it leaves them feeling soft and not crunchy, which I like. This is actually a continuation from the blushes earlier. I just couldn't apply the powder blush then because I needed to set my face with powder. I have 3 shades of the Flower Pots blushes. I love this powder blush formula. So from top to bottom, we have Barrymore. Get it? Drew Barrymore because of Flower Beauty. It's very, very cute. Then we have Wild Rose and Peach Primrose. I can't decide which one I want to apply. I mean, I can still see the kind of soft pink peeking through. I may just add a touch of Barrymore, maybe onto, you know, the backs, the cheekbones, not onto the apples of my cheeks. So I'm just going to dab my brush in here very lightly. And with dark shades like this, I will dab them on the back of my hand just to make sure I don't get that patch of pigment. But I really don't feel like that's a danger with this blush formula because it's so good. Just historically, I have a good experience with these blushes. That shade is really pretty. It's nice and buildable. I mean, it's not giving me too much pigment right off the bat. Of course, I did tap my brush off first. I feel like that shade was really buildable. I don't think I have clown cheeks. I mean, I do have to apply a little bit more just so you can see it on camera and get a representation of what the shade looks like. But honestly, this formula, no matter what shade you get, is fantastic and lasts all day. Before I move on to lips, I have another must-have product from Flower Beauty, the Seal the Deal setting spray hydrating version. It's one of my favorite drugstore setting sprays. I don't normally go for hydrating setting sprays, but it sets my makeup and gives such a natural finish. It doesn't make my makeup dewy or shiny looking, and it's very refreshing and hydrating. The reason why it's not in this video is because I loaned it out to somebody so they could try it, and I have not gotten it back yet. I will have it linked down below. This is the matte setting spray that I have not tried yet. So I will have a verdict on this sometime soon, but I guess we could go ahead and spray it on my face and see what it looks like. So let's get the pump primed. That is one thing I love about Flower Beauty sprays is that they are really good and cloud-like. You almost don't feel them. Some mattifying setting sprays can leave little white spots on your makeup, so I'm always sure to shake them up first. You really can't see this on my face because the droplets are so fine. All right, we'll see how this goes. This is just the one product that I haven't tried. Another product I think Flower Beauty does exceptionally well is lips, but I'm realizing I've never tried a lip liner from Flower Beauty. Have you? Let me know in the comments. Do they have one? Do you like it? I'd love to hear your thoughts on any of the products in this video too. I always love reading those. So I have talked many times about my love for the Perfect Pout lipstick formula. I've shared some shades I love that unfortunately I am unable to source. I think this line is being discontinued. I don't know why. I think it's fantastic. It's very creamy. It lasts a decent amount of time. They have some great shades. So I'll just say that I don't think you could go wrong with any shade preference. You know, if you want to grab some of this formula before it goes away. I've just tried to link you to different shades I've worn or recommended in other videos, and I can't anymore, and so many shades are gone that I just think it's nearing the end for this product. Unfortunately, I don't know why though. It's just so good. So my must-have lip has dwindled down to this Perfect Pout lip, which is what I have on right now. I love these for their longevity, how creamy and comfortable they are, and opaque. I find them flattering. You may have noticed earlier that after I set my face with powder, I added a nude lip liner. My lips were so ghostly white with foundation and powder and product that I had to kind of scrub at them and they got a little red. So I needed to neutralize them, but I always fill in my lips with some kind of lip liner. And this is so opaque that it doesn't affect the shade. So this shade is Spice Petal. This line also is just great, so I don't think it matters what shade you get. This feels like many high-end lipsticks to me. It's that good. I'm going to take lips a little bit further though. If you want an all-in-one multitasking lip product, I think these are still around. I don't think they're being discontinued, but don't shoot me if they are. The Mix and Matte lip duos are so good. So these have a creamy bullet lipstick in them, and on the other end, they have a gloss. And this is a nicely pigmented gloss. You could wear this alone or over lipstick. The one that I have in Bronze Berry has a nice metallic sheen to it, but it's not over the top at all. It's really pretty and just gives, I don't know, a little bit of extra something to your lips. I love multitasking products. Love these. I think they're great. Flower Beauty has more lip products than just what I'm showing in this video. All that I've tried have been fantastic. So I think if there's another product type, product category that you could try from Flower Beauty, it would definitely be one of their lip products. I thought I was finished with this video and realized I forgot to talk about a key product. One of my favorite all-time brow gels is the Fiber Fix brow gel. I don't think my application here is doing it justice. I don't think you can really tell what I'm doing. I think if I had done it over naked brows, it would have been better. I've talked about this so many times in videos though. I just love it. I have the blonde shade and it's not warm. It's a cool toned blonde, so it kind of gives off a taupey vibe and lightens up my dark brows a little bit, which I like. And the wand is the perfect depth to do what it needs to do, but not deposit too much pigment and end up everywhere. I love this stuff. It's definitely one of my must-have Flower Beauty products. I hope you found this enjoyable and helpful. If you did, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and definitely let me know in the comments what your favorite Flower Beauty product is, or if you're planning on trying them. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll see you next time. Bye.